The following is a presentation of TFNN. The Tiger Technician Hour with your host, Basil Chapman. Call now, toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Now, Basil Chapman.
Hi everyone, Basil Chapman on this Friday, the 24th of June, almost wrapping up the month of June, and we're looking at the Dow. 1 week ago, we made this doji candle low. You remember we discussed that, and I said doji candles in my work have two places. One is they're either telling you that there's indecision, momentary indecision, and that if there's a break, the very following bar, preferably with the close either below the wick low or above the wick high, it gives you either, it's a halfway, when we say halfway marker, I don't mean it's exactly halfway. It means it's a rest stop for a further move down if it closes below that wick. And if it reverses up, it could be a pretty serious turnaround. It could be just short term, but a serious nevertheless. Look, we had that exact same thing around about the 15th, 16th of April. No, that was May, right there on the 12th of May at 31,228, and you got a 3-day rally all the way to 32,689. This is a little different because this has started gray leg B. I call it gray because the stochastic is still pathetic at 25%. The MACD making this Lamar type U-turn when there's a huge swing from the 9-period differential, the green line in the MACD, as the histogram started to improve with a chance that it could cross positive, that gives you a lot of, think of it as torque, that you've got the torque at that base of the gravity, the low, and if you're looking at the stochastic rallying, you get the torque where you've got, it gives you the impetus for momentum to carry it much higher. There is always a chance that you can get a Chapman wave squash between the stochastic and the MACD. It's not happening in this case. This is just leg B. I have to call it leg B. Now, we are fortunate for subscribers to my opening call. We are long. We're long from the Friday low. We got out, we got in, but basically from that Friday low towards just maybe 100, 200 points off the exact low of the Dow. Most importantly, what we're looking at is Chapman Wave inside track. I'm going to spend a little time on all this right now because so many people have asked me questions about the Chapman Wave. This is Technical Friday. On Technical Friday, we tend to spend a little more time on the actual Chapman Wave methodology. Also, I actually spoke to Larry yesterday. Oh, I didn't speak to Larry. I texted Larry. We were in communication. His throat is still very sore. So I'm going to fill in that hour for him. So that's where I'm going to go into the whole thing with the commodities. Just a lot of areas that Larry likes to look at. Of course, I'm not claiming that it's the trade what you see hour. I will do what I see, but very often the parameters and the trajectory of direction is very similar. So using different techniques. Now let me go back to what we were looking at in the Dow. So the day is young. We've now for the first time crossed the 14-period moving average since we broke down from it, and that was way back on the 9th of June. The high was 32,900s, the low was 32,200s, and it was just a plummet gap down all the way from there. And now what we've done is we've gone into the gap that started going into the high of the 13th after the gap down from the low of the previous day. And that makes 31,144, and we're at 31,283. We're now attempting to fill the gap. If we do fill the gap by Monday or Tuesday, it's not good enough to go to 32,054, just one point above that gap low. I want to see trading in that candle for a couple of days. And that'll say to me, great. There's a really good chance. At this particular point, we're almost about to get a buy signal in the Chapman Wave methodology. I have to wait for the daily chart. I can't do this intraday. But on the daily chart, that's what it looks like. Now, I want to talk about a couple of things, but we'll run through the, there we go. S&P, this is just a single leg A. By a couple of pennies, we went above the high that was made on the, well, the low was 36.87 with a small doji candle. We spoke about that. And 3801.79 was the high on the 22nd of June. And then we went to, what did I just do? We went to 3802.58, point higher. And that extended leg A, that's Chapman Wave methodology. In fact, let me do this now because it's going to be 2 hours. And a lot of you are possibly new to my work. So when I'm talking about waveform, it's as simple as this. Within the structure of the Chapman wave, one tries to identify the low bar, and on the way down we use technicals as well as the notation of the Chapman wave, lowercase a, b, c, d, e, f, g. There's never an H. But once you identify the low bar, that's all you've done. And then you have to wait for a whole bunch of things to occur to go to a buy signal. Buy signal, if it gets upgraded to a buy mode, says not only would you get a peak A and a B and a C, but you should even go to 4 higher peaks, peak D. Uppercase on the way up, A, B, C, D, E, F, G. There's never an H. But at D, other things can happen. We've seen that over and over and over. Sometimes we get a peak C and just fail to get to a D, but all the technicals suggested it acted exactly like you would expect at a D. Therefore, it's a peak C1 and a peak C2. You can even go to peak C3, C4, C5. We've seen that. But it acts like a D. The longer you go C1, C2, C, the greater the chances are you'll pull back, but you're going to break above it. So peak C1, C2 is like a D, and you've got to expect a pullback. And I'm showing just here on the left, 4177.51 was a peak C in the S&P back in late May. And then we double topped at a peak C1, C2. I didn't put that in, I should have. And that acted as a sell signal on the way down. So we went to a lower low in the pattern called the dreaded H. But let me emphasize again. In the Chapman Wave methodology, a very simple concept. It took me years to develop a simple concept. Hand charting with engineering paper, pencil, and ruler. Peak A, peak B, 1 penny above peak B without taking out the starting point. The moment you take out the starting point, you have to start completely fresh. But as long as you hold it, you can have restarts, many restarts. The more restarts you have, the greater the chances are you can have a major move to the upside. At a peak D, other things can happen. That's one particular technique. Another technique is I look at just 3 patterns, straight up, straight down, cup formation, arch formation. Mix of 1 and 2, that's sharply down. It goes to peak A, maybe a B, and then fails and takes out the left side low. It's red because it can continue down. Look at that. Dreaded H pattern failure. There was that same that. And on the way up, it's an inverse Y, green. So we take out the left side high. We go much higher. We've done it 2 times. Within that context, I'm going to talk about a number of other things because of different indexes and why would I be talking about, as subscribers know, we are heavy in the NASDAQ type stocks in the NASDAQ area.
Of booming inflation, where your purchasing power is eroded, there's no better place to protect your hard-earned money than in gold. VISTA Gold's flagship asset is the Mount Todd Gold Project in the Northern Territory of Australia. This is Australia's largest undeveloped gold project. We are talking a world-class gold project in a Tier 1 mining district. This is a large-scale, low-cost project with significant existing infrastructure in a politically safe and friendly mining jurisdiction. VISTA Gold just completed the Mount Todd feasibility study, which resulted in a 7 million ounce gold reserve and a 16-year mine life. All of this, combined with the approvals of all major operational as well as environmental permits. This distinguishes Mount Todd as an attractive, de-risk partner, ready development stage gold project. VISTA Gold trades on the New York Stock Exchange under the symbol VGZ.
Are you looking for a way to consistently add winning trades to your portfolio? Tom O'Brien is here to help. Tom O'Brien has been successfully trading markets for over 30 years. A frequent contributor to TD Ameritrade Network and CNBC, Tom O'Brien founded TFNN over 20 years ago to help educate investors just like you. Tom's daily market newsletter, Market Insights, is published every morning when the markets open to give you the competitive informational edge you need to succeed. These newsletters are packed full of Tom's advanced technical analysis and are geared to deliver comprehensive strategies for a successful portfolio. Get Tom O'Brien's newsletter, Market Insights, today and try all of our products and newsletters 30 days risk-free with our money-back guarantee at TFNN.com. TFNN, educating investors.
Everything in the universe is governed by the Fibonacci sequence. This mathematical principle is responsible for everything from the most aesthetically pleasing artwork to patterns in the stock market. To stay on top of stock patterns you can take advantage of, sign up for the Fibonacci 24/7 newsletter at TFNN.com. When you subscribe, you'll get a weekly report from veteran day trader Larry Pesavento on stocks you need to pay attention to. And you can trust Larry's analysis. After all, he's got 45 years experience as a day trader. Larry will also provide daily charts, videos, and data on the key markets that he's tracking. Expect notifications from Larry on market movement you need to act on at any time. First-time subscribers also get a 30-day money-back guarantee. If you're not satisfied, let us know and you'll get a full refund within 30 days of signing up. Subscribe to the Fibonacci 24/7 newsletter today. TFNN.com, educating investors.
Call now, toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-873-7618.
So today I was going to discuss the parallel wave count in the Chapman wave methodology, where you can go to, you have a Chapman wave instant restart at a peak D that's within 3 bars. It makes a new recovery high, and therefore becomes E/A, and you can keep that going. I'm getting tired of typing the parallels, but once I get to a G, I put a G/C. Lo and behold, the 1 minute went from G/C to a peak D. The 2 minute went from a peak G/C to a peak D. The 5 minute is right now, as we're speaking, there's a chance that it's making a peak D. The 10-minute chart right there has just had an extraordinary run in leg D. It's a leg D because it hasn't made a peak D yet. So we're watching to see what happens. Doesn't mean to say you can recycle again. We recycled 3 times today where it went sideways and whoosh, the rocket ship to the upside. So I've got that out the way. Geez, remember, when you get a chance of an Chapman wave instant restart, for those of you who use Chapman wave methodology, when we get to a G, count to see if it's not a G/B or maybe a G/C, and that says, you know what, we could have a pullback and then one pop to a D. That D invariably is the one that you've got to take note of, because if it pulls back sharply from there, that means you can have, at least for the first time in the big move up, some kind of decent consolidation. All right, let's get back to our story here. So the S&P is in leg A above the 3851 14-period exponential moving average. Needs a lot more work to cross positive, whereas the Dow also needs a lot more. It was, what I should have said is, there were other indicators, other technical tools that I was using that said if they make this sharp turn to the upside, by the time you get across in the MACD, and we've got that today in the QQQs, which is well above the 14-period moving average, but to get the 9 above the 14 now is going to be even harder work. It doesn't mean to say it can't be done, but it does mean to say that other things can happen. So the reason why I love this particular action in the QQQs and the whole area, I had a question earlier on about PLTR, I believe it is, Palantir. Yeah, PLTR. What about it? Well, this is in a daily buy mode. It's gone from a buy signal to a buy mode. That's the daily. The weekly hasn't even gone to a buy signal. It got hit 45 round number high back in end of 2020, beginning of 2021. Peak B minus, Palantir Tech, the software platforms. and then plunges over the IPO price of in the 8s. It went down to the 6s. I'll give you the exact price: 644. 644 round about the 15th or so of May. 6, and now I can't remember what I said. 14th? I want to put 14th. And look at this. So what it needs to do, it's above the weekly chart now at intraday is so far, intra-week I should say, is above the pink 9-period moving average, but the daily has finally crossed positive. Look how much time and work it took to cross positive in the daily chart. Palantir trading at 973, PLTR up 26 cents. I'm calling this a leg B. I could have called this an F/B. At this particular point, the stochastic is rallying, but it hasn't gone above 80%. I think it's going to try. The MACD is good, and the fact that the 9 went over the 14 is a good sign. And all I can say is this is tremendous action on a short-term basis, but the damage that's been done is going to create, it's going to be very hard for it to do anything unless it can start to touch the 11 area, I'd say by Tuesday or Wednesday of next week. If it does that, that's a very serious upturn in Palantir. And I would then say that the low that was made was a pretty substantial daily low at the, whatever I said, 644 level. And usually when you get a terrific buy signal like that, especially when you're in the single digits, you should see at least a double before it becomes vulnerable again. So that puts it in the 12, 13 area. So all I can say is I like the action very much right now. I do think that it is one of the more positive things that I've looked at in quite a while. So I'm just scrolling back here because I had so many questions. Could I look at? And I want to get to them now because it's Technical Friday. Yes. Could I look at Meta? So the next question is Meta, which is Facebook. Am I going to ever be able to say Facebook's like Google? Can I ever say Alphabet? It just doesn't make sense. Anyway, Meta it is. Who am I to argue? Beautiful move today. Up 6.6%, up $10 at 169. I said earlier, about a week or two ago, we were actually for 3 weeks, I've been looking at Facebook, Meta platforms, former Facebook, had a 384.33 all-time high back in I believe it was late 2021. Had a little bit of a tumble down to the 150s, and here it is 169. This is the start of a move that says the general market is lifting Facebook. I don't think Facebook's a leader, I don't think Meta is a leader at all in this environment. I think it needs more time. I'm putting it in the same category as Netflix, which is having a much better move. But look at that weekly chart. It's really struggling. And as a result, these are not my favorites. But we did look at Goog the other day. I can't remember who we looked at it for. We looked at Goog, and I said, yes, I do like it. I think it's worth a starting position. I think it was in the 2200 area, and here we are at 2344. I just think as a platform, I think it has a lot more going for it. Yes, it did make a high in the 3000s. 3000, I should have typed that in. 3042, round number high. Chapman wave, rogue wave, the week of the 4th of February. I should talk about that. Yeah, a rogue wave is where you make a high in whatever it is you're following, and then it starts to pull back. The MACD starts to turn down. The 9-period moving average goes under the 14-period moving average. The stochastic goes from over 80%, under 80%. And if you're short, you're absolutely correct on a purely technical basis. And then there's this one day where news comes out and it has this serious spike. And what does the spike do? It goes fractionally over, in this case, the week of the 19th of November at 3817.00, another round number high. That's where that top was. And it pulls back. And if you do a vertical, you know how Tom O'Brien does, he loves to do like on a 10-minute chart. One of his major tools is to look at volume. He had that really fabulous workshop based on volume and the other technicals that he looks at. But basically, he's looking at the vertical. I love to look at the vertical. I look at volume, but I'm looking at on-balance volume. But I don't use that as much in this particular instance as I would the MACD and everything else being weak. But there was that one news-related spike that took it to 30,042, a rogue wave high. Why do I call it a rogue wave high? Because everything said that the tide was going back. You know, I've got in my CD introducing book, CD introducing the Chapman Wave methodology, I talk about the rogue wave. I say at high, the sign says high tide at 12:06, at 12 o'clock. At 12:06, you just getting to the beach. You go to your favorite rock, to the very outer part of the rock. You're putting down your towel and you've got your sunglasses out, you've got your suntan lotion on, you've got your sandwich, you've got everything all ready. And suddenly there's this one wave that goes splash. It never saw the sign at 12 o'clock to say high tide at noon. And it runs up and it gets everybody. But when you turn around, the wave's gone.
If you want to take advantage of this sector, now is the time to subscribe to my Gold Report. The Gold Report is a comprehensive look at the metal sector as well as the markets that move gold, which is the currency and bond markets. New subscribers get a 30-day money-back guarantee, so you have nothing to lose. Every Monday morning, I publish the Gold Report with coverage of gold, silver, bonds, the XAU, HUI, GDX, as well as more than 30 different mining equities. To see for yourself the types of profitable trades that are recommended within the Gold Report, sign up now by visiting TFNN.com. Don't miss out on the next great gold trade. Sign up today.
TFNN has just launched their new trading room, the Tiger's Den. Hosted at Discord, TFNN has been educating traders for more than 20 years with live programming hosted by a variety of professional traders during market hours. And now they are expanding their reach with the Tiger's Den, available to all tigers and tigresses for just $1 for the year. There's no catch or added costs when you join our community of traders. In the Tiger's Den, you can look over the shoulders of Tom O'Brien and the other TFNN hosts while they analyze charts during their live Tiger TV programs, and join an interactive trading community with hundreds of members exchanging ideas. Interact with other tigers and tigresses as they share trading ideas, news analysis, and discuss the market action all trading day, even at night and on the weekends. The Tiger's Den at Discord is accessible on mobile or tablets as well, so it's always at your reach. To sign up today and become a part of this educational community of traders, just visit the front page of TFNN.com.
TFNN is excited about our new software charting program, The Art of Timing the Trade Charts. In collaboration with Tom O'Brien and using his best-selling book, The Art of Timing the Trade, Your Ultimate Trading Mastery System, David White has programmed an outstanding piece of software that will complement any trader's methodology. Using this first-of-its-kind program, The Art of Timing the Trade Charts allows you to scan thousands of stocks for Fibonacci formation setups, including Gartley's, ABCs, butterflies, and much more. The Art of Timing the Trade Charts is designed to help you when scouring the markets for stocks just beginning to form the trading patterns that many investors spend days, weeks, or even months searching to find. And right now, we're offering licenses available at only $79 a month. We are so confident that you're going to love this new charting software that will even give you a 30-day unconditional money-back guarantee. Don't miss out on this incredible new piece of software. Get your copy of The Art of Timing the Trade Charts today by visiting TFNN.com. This segment is brought to you by Thinkorswim. For more information, just click the Thinkorswim banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
Hi, folks. So, ironically, what we're talking about right now, the rogue wave, there's just a chance that we've seen this peak D, beta cup formation, and I was talking about how Tom O'Brien uses volume. I'm going to show you how I use the same vertical assessment and test with using different techniques right here. You see this high that was made in the 1 minute chart at, let's go to 10:10 this morning, AM, of course. That's just, about 30 minutes ago, less than that. And now look at the retest with a fractionally higher high. Look at the technicals, how weak they are in the 1 minute chart. But wait a minute, it's the same thing here in the 2 minute chart. Oh, wait a minute. It's not the same thing in the 5 minute chart. The 5 minute chart still has very strong technicals. So we're going to be watching this really closely because you've squeaked to a nominal new high. when in fact the tactical started to fail, how does it handle it? And all I can say, make it as simple as possible. This is a situation where you don't want to over-anticipate. Look, the green line is still positive, but all the indications are that surely it should pull back. Well, 3890.10 was the Chapman wave automated resistance in the 2-minute chart. 3877.65. Of course, it doesn't know anything about quarter point increments because it's the futures, but this is what it's got. So a close under 3873. I'm going all the way down to 73. By the end of my show, this show, I will say, we might have seen at least for the morning some intraday top. And you've got peak E in the daily, peak E in the 2-minute chart. So far, it's a peak E in the 5-minute chart. And wait a minute, is it in the 10-minute chart? No, the 10-minute chart is still leg D until the bar completes. If it doesn't make a new high above 3889.75, then it will become. And then you've got a unison in all of the time sequences except the 9 period is still way above the 14 period. But this is the point where I would, if you're thinking of shorting, this is where you put it in and you can put a stop. In fact, I wouldn't even put a stop more than maybe 4 points. You could go all the way to 9, 8-point stop. I don't know if I'd do that. I'd make it smaller than that. So this is one way to do it on a very remember, we're talking about minutes. We're not talking about days. And you see the 9 is just about across. It hasn't yet. In the 1-minute chart, negative. So you have to wait for that. I prefer to wait for that. We'll see what happens. All right, let's get back to our story. So I was saying that Google, I said that's one that just I don't know that much about Google in a fundamental way. I know what I read, and all I can say is within the context of Facebook, Meta that is, and any of the other platforms, I think Google seems to have a lot more going for it, and that seems to be the one that has the potential, if it's able to close on a weekly basis. The 2374 is the 14-period moving average. If it's able to close 2 out of 3 weeks, that's a big ask. 2 out of 3 weeks above 2380. I don't care what happens in between, but close above it. That's going to be a really good sign. So it's a big ask. We'll see what happens. Let's go back to the questions that I had here. So we did that. I'm going to my time frame. Yes, we did that. So I think the next question was, I might be out of sequence. What are your thoughts? Yes, I did that. I did the Meta. I think SMHs was the next question in the den. And in the new home sales. Oh, it comes in. I don't know if it comes in already. Okay, we'll talk about homes in a moment. Look at the SMH. SMH is the semiconductor index. Now, one of the reasons why I chose not to go with the 3 times long semiconductor index for my subscribers is because my thinking was that there's still a very big overhang in the whole chip industry. I don't want to outguess them. I don't know, and people I've spoken to in the auto industry, etc. Most folks are they're not too sure. They haven't got a good grasp on it all. The reason why I wanted for subscribers to go to the NASDAQ beaten down sector is because on a percentage basis, awful low, they could have the best quick percentage gain. And then you have to monitor it really carefully. So that's what we've done. We've already taken little bits off, just as money management, a little tad off here and tad off there. But that's what I'm talking about. So the SMH is up. It's only up 8 points at 215 at this particular point off the low of 201 from last Friday. It should be at 222. So it's lagging still. And if you look at the weekly chart, it is just so persistent to get the MACD and everything to improve. So I think that's the reason why looking out longer term, I'm saying that we're not done. This is not the low. This is just a low that we're looking at from this past Friday. And I think the semiconductors, which lead markets up and down in all the decades I've been following the markets, this just tells me you got to still consider that there's another shoe somewhere to drop. But on a trading basis at 215 right now, I'd say yes, between 215 and 211. That's where I start positions just for this potential 2 to maybe 3 week move. It could be higher, it could be lower. I don't care, but I'm just saying this is what we're looking at. So I hope that helps you. Key is it needs to close 2 out of 3 sessions above the 14-period moving average of 217.51. Next question was, happy Friday. Yep. Okay, yes, but very oversold. Okay, got questions coming in here. Can you look at the SEMs? Yep, I just did. I'm not going to look at the individual ones now. Maybe a little later on I do. There's just too much to do. Took profits, very nice. Setting up, okay, looking down, looking up. There was another question, that very significant question. I thought, been rolling up, trimming, crazy moves, 200 handles. Yep. Nice. Basil, ARKK about to break its long downtrend. ARKK is trading at 45.31. We are long from 37.65. We did go long at 37.52 and stopped out by the penny. We got jumped right back in within 2 days at 37.65. So it is up 8 points from where we got in. So that's about, That's about 18%. Yeah, that is nice. And the only reason this is one of my picks is because if you look at so many of the stocks, let's just go to, I don't even know where it is today, but DDD, I said, I'd love to get DDD, but then I thought, I can't be sacrificed by the single stocks. I want a generic thing that I feel more comfortable with. So ARKK is the exact title is the Innovation Fund run by Kathy Wood. She was just beaten down to a pulp over the last, 125 down to 35. And this is the pattern. Look, a peak E at 46.94 from the low that was made round about the 15th in the 35s. And then it runs up. And what does it do? It breaks to, in the Chapman wave cup formation, in the Chapman wave H pattern, the dreaded H pattern, it had a successful test of the left. Let me go slowly. This is one that did not break the left side low of 35.10 that was made on the 12th of May. It went to 35.65 with a doji candle. I loved that action because it was a successful test as the MACD was streaming to the upside and the stochastic was way higher than it was back in May. That's the divergence that I love. So yes, we've done that. And today we took a look at this one. Okay, see what we've done with that. I'll be back in a moment. Basil, Chapman, Tiger.
Are you in the market for buying or selling real estate in the Bay Area, including the surrounding St. Petersburg, Tampa, and Clearwater markets? Tiger Real Estate LLC is a firm that has extensive experience in the Tampa Bay area. Whether you're looking to sell your current property for maximum value, or you're in the market for a second home or investment property, Tiger Realty has the experience across all areas of real estate in the Tampa Bay area to help buyers and sellers make the most informed decisions across all price levels. From the price you should be paying per square foot in certain up-and-coming areas to the type of cash flow investment properties are capable of creating, Tiger Real Estate can help you make the best decision when it comes to all areas of the market. Before you make one of the biggest decisions of your financial future, call Tiger Real Estate LLC today at 727-329-8322 or email us at tiger@tfnn.com. That's 727-329-8322. Call us today.
The technology around us is changing every day. With so much happening, it can seem impossible to keep up with all the information. David White's investment newsletter, The Technology Insider, is designed to give you all the information you need to understand the technology that shapes today's markets and tomorrow's future. David White has made his living staying on the cutting edge of technology. His weekly newsletter will give you specific recommendations for value tech stocks, as well as entry prices, target prices, and stops to set for each trade. Dave delivers his weekly newsletters every Friday with updates throughout the week. You can get the Technology Insider at TFNN.com for only $37.50. Sign up for David's newsletter, The Technology Insider, and get an inside look at everything the technology sector has to offer. Try it risk-free today with our 30-day money-back guarantee. TFNN, educating investors.
Biotech is booming, but for how long? Whether you think the biotech bull has room to run or has run its course, trade LABU or LABD. Direction's daily S&P Biotech 3 times bull and bear ETFs. Visit directioninvestments.com/biotech today. An investor should consider the investment objectives, risks, charges, and expenses of the Direction shares carefully before investing. The prospectus and summary prospectus contain this and other information about Direction shares. To obtain a prospectus or summary prospectus, please contact Direction shares at 866-476-7523. The prospectus or summary prospectus should be read carefully before investing. An investment in the funds is subject to risk, including the possible loss of principal. The funds are designed to be utilized only by sophisticated investors such as traders and active investors. Distributor Foreside Fund Services, LLC.
This program is brought to you by VISTA Gold, traded on the NYSE American and TSX under the symbol VGZ.
Hi folks, I'm back, and I will be doing Larry Pesavento's hour. There's so much to discuss. Look, we got that exact turnaround, but it's just the start of a turnaround. It doesn't mean to say anything other than we are lower than where we were discussing before, and the line's gone pink at that measurement from the round about 1010 to 1025. The vertical test, it was negative. In fact, the MACD deflected lower. That doesn't mean to say that this is a big tumble. It just says this is where the most opportune time to be looking for a pullback is occurring. And even more importantly is that the 1 minute has got a down arrow, so it's gone into a sell signal, and it's very close to a sell mode. The 2 minute is in a sell signal, but it hasn't crossed a pink to go into a sell, anything like a sell mode. And the 5 minute has gone from a peak E to a pullback, and so has finally, you've got the 10 minutes chart at a peak E. That's all we're saying. So let's get back to our story here. And the story says, so ARKK, I think on a very short-term basis is now overbought. One of the reasons why we took another tad off at the 45 area. It's at 44.81, but you've got to keep that call because I think it is a turnaround of significance. But on a very short-term basis, yep, it's pulling back. Then it came a question. Let me just check here. I have to go through this in sequence. I'm trying. We're looking at that. Okay, XLF. Yeah, the XLF. Now, this is fascinating to me because the XLF finally is having a decent move, up 85 cents at 32.05. That is up 2.7%. So this is in a leg B. And I've been waiting to see what's going to happen if the yields going up didn't help the financials. In fact, they plummeted with the bonds going lower. Now bonds are starting to try to attempt a high, and the TLT is pulled back today at $1.39 at 112.75. And what we got? We've got the financials moving higher. So there's something else, and it has to do with, I think that the bookkeeping, the infrastructure has it that the Fed has forced them to have a very stringent, actually following the banking rules. So they've got a lot of capital as safety. And I think that's what we're looking at now. If I'm looking, I'll do my work for my subscribers when I do my overview, my weekly video overview tomorrow, probably tomorrow morning sometime. I'm playing tennis. Well, I'll do it tomorrow morning, I think, early on. So, yeah, we'll see what happens. But we'll see if the XLF is going to benefit. That's number one. Number two is, if you're looking at BRK, which is Berkshire Hathaway, which I don't know why, but it's a really big part of the financial XLF, S&P financial sector, ETF, it's having a move here. But this is in all the areas of the U.S. economy, and this is the first time it's come off the low to have a huge, big green bounce. I'm watching this one closely just as a kind of a generic thing for part of our economy because, and let's face it, Buffett is in the economy. He doesn't just have the stocks. He actually owns companies. So I got that. Question came in. Bear markets. Yep. Okay. Tesla, quick question about Tesla. Here we go. TSLA. I have some opinions about Tesla, and it has more to do with the politics and the infrastructure of what's happening to Tesla and the competition that's coming on. I think Tesla's stuck. I don't know if it's going to break down, but I think it's stuck at this particular moment. Just like Musk is stuck, so Tesla's stuck. So within that context, wait, we haven't got to the break, so that's good. So Zoom, ZM, yeah, people use it all the time. It's not out of vogue. It's just the pandemic saw it go from 588 down to 79. I mean, that's a whopper of a decline. So peak C, peak D. This is a brand new A, B. Whoa! What happened? Brand new A, B, C. So, and the weekly charts in a B. I do think that Zoom is in a very nice move to the upside on the daily basis. But if you are looking at on the weekly, you can only go step by step, and until the daily goes into a second buy mode to give you a run to the 127, 131 area, I'm looking at this and saying, oh, it's just a rectangle formation in the Zoom ZM trade as a symbol weekly chart until it really starts on a weekly basis to trade in the 142s. That's a long way to go from here, 20 points up. When it can get to the 142s, I would say Zoom is now back on a buy mode in the weekly chart. But at this point, you can only do it step by step. So that's that. Next question I have, AMD and WAS. AMD. So Mike, what I'm looking at here is AMD did everything right for a long time up until it made that high back in 2021, around about November-ish, in the 160s. It took quite a dive and went down below 80, and now it's at 86. This is in the category that says to me, advanced, I can't do it now, I don't have time. Maybe Monday or Tuesday I'll do it. I'm going to show you what's happened with advanced micro devices over the years. It's had these incredible moves that takes it from single digits to way into the triple digits, and then it gives it all up. I don't know if this is the time that AMD is going to give it all up, but it's had a huge decline, and the rally, it's a belated rally, but it is a rally. So until I see advanced micro devices trading on a weekly basis above the high that made 3 weeks ago at 109.57, and here it is at 86. It's got so much to do. I'm just saying that on a short-term basis as a trade, yep, this is exactly the kind of category where you want to grab things and see where they go. But at the same time, it needs a lot of work. It's not nearly, look at this, Applied Materials, also a very poor pattern, but a little bit better than advanced micro devices. And NVIDIA, which has always been the huge favorite, is trying to form a base, and it's going to take a little while to form that base. It's trading at 169, up 7. I want to see the SMHs as a group, as a sector, 217. I want to see it up in the 222, 225 area by midweek. I'll be back in a moment. I believe, do we have the break? No, we haven't. So let me just, before I hear the music, look at this, a temporary move down. Still doesn't take, I have a call. All right, let me do the call. Thank you, Al. Our caller is Sharky. Hi, Sharky. How are you?
Hi, Basil. How are you?
I'm good.
I had to rest a little bit from this pneumonia yesterday, and I kind of missed the entry. I was watching it in TQQQ. Has it moved too far, Basil, or don't want to chase it? What are your opinions on? Okay,
let me get to this before we run out of time. First of all, TQQ is 3 times long. It's the Pro Shares Ultra Pro, the QQQs. And it's had a move that's gone from 21.32 to 27.15. We are long it for subscribers. Now, what I would do is now you can't have the same number of shares if you're going to get in, because you've missed a great entry point. It's not too late. It's just too late for that particular kind of sequence where you can get a huge liftoff from a low. I mean, 21 to 27, 6 points. It's 30 points, a 30% gain.
I'll hold on to the break.
Hold on, and I'll tell you, because you've asked a question that a few people have asked me, and I'll get to it as soon as I return. I think you're going to have to wait a little bit, and I'll explain what I would recommend. I'll be right back. Untitled Chapter down is up 615.
Sharpening your skills as an investor is like getting better at playing a musical instrument. You have to practice, sure, but you also need excellent instruction from experts. At TFNN, you'll get advice and guidance from the authority in technical market analysis. And it's not just dry, tedious text either. TFNN airs live financial content streamed live on TFNN.com and TFNN's YouTube channel with Tiger TV, live every market day from 8:30 a.m. to 4 p.m. Eastern. For free. Each host is an experienced trader and gives their take on the market while taking calls and questions live from around the world. From the moment the market opens until the closing bell sounds, Tiger TV has 8 different shows with expert hosts to help you make the right moves with your money. Watch online at TFNN.com or on TFNN's YouTube channel and become the investor you were born to be. TFNN, educating investors.
You might think that if you want to be successful at trading in the stock market, you're going to need a crystal ball. After all, it's impossible to predict the future, right? Like any endeavor in life, before you decide it's impossible, get some advice from the experts. You might find that it's not so impossible after all. For daily market overviews that give you direction on the key indices, selective stocks, and commodities, subscribe to the Opening Call newsletter at TFNN.com. The Opening Call newsletter is written by Basil Chapman, creator of the trading methodology known as the Chapman Wave. The Chapman Wave up-down sequence gives you an edge in identifying price turns, finding the peaks and valleys in stock prices. Get the Opening Call newsletter by Basil Chapman in your inbox every day. First-time subscribers also get a 30-day money-back guarantee. If you're not satisfied, let us know, and you'll get a full refund within 30 days of signing up. TFNN.com, educating investors.
Everything in the universe is governed by the Fibonacci sequence. This mathematical principle is responsible for everything from the most aesthetically pleasing artwork to patterns in the stock market. To stay on top of stock patterns you can take advantage of, sign up for the Fibonacci 24/7 newsletter at TFNN.com. When you subscribe, you'll get a weekly report from veteran day trader Larry Pesavento on stocks you need to pay attention to. And you can trust Larry's analysis. After all, he's got 45 years experience as a day trader. Larry will also provide daily charts, videos, and data on the key markets that he's tracking. Expect notifications from Larry on market movement you need to act on at any time. First-time subscribers also get a 30-day money-back guarantee. If you're not satisfied, let us know and you'll get a full refund within 30 days of signing up. Subscribe to the Fibonacci 24/7 newsletter today. TFNN.com, educating investors.
This segment is brought to you by Thinkorswim. For more information, just click the Thinkorswim banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
Hi folks, so this is, we're on with Sharky, we're looking at TQQQ. This is very aggressive, it's not for everybody, you have to think it through because this is 3 times longer Qs, but you can still get a small position, but it's much lower price. It's 27.12 right now. So this is what I'm going to recommend. If you had to start just a very small position here at 27.11, that's not the real position. You might just have to have enough patience to say, you know what, I might miss this big single leg A up, but I need to get to somewhere below today's 26.05 low. That's where I prefer for you to actually start a position, and even then you must put in a fairly tight stop. But you can't go as aggressively as it would have been earlier on because it's already had the move in that leg A. But the whole thing is that in the 120-minute chart, it's already made a peak A, B, C. This is leg D. So you've got to be prepared that at D, other things can happen. So I hope that helps you, but just start a small one. And my overview tomorrow, when I do my subscriber overview, I'll discuss this in a little bit of a more detailed way.
Yeah,
okay?
Basil, just where if it did get an opportunity to go to 26.06, where would you put a stop? It was 26.05. Where would you put a stop?
I'd keep it fairly tight. I'd have it at about a 3%. Even though it's a 3 times long, I'd still have it at about a 3% stop. Okay?
Okay, thank you very much, Basil.
My pleasure. Thank you for calling. So, folks, I just wanted to show you, look, that peak E, we've used time and not price. We haven't broken to a new high. Peak E in the day, in the 1 minute chart, peak D, E in the 2 minute chart, peak E in the 5 minute chart, and peak E. And it still says to me that you've used up time. The longer you go sideways, the greater chances are that if you take out the support level of the base, I'll be talking about that when I'm going to do Larry's hour coming up, because I haven't looked at the currencies, I haven't looked at bonds, I'm looking at all the things that Larry looks at. Apple, we'll look at Apple as well, all the stuff that Larry loves to look at. I hope Larry gets well soon. His voice is evidently pretty bad, and he needs a few days to rest it up. Larry, rest yourself up. I'll be back in another moment to do Larry's show, Larry's hour.